Hey, everybody, it's Alexis. I am back with a brand new video. Happy Monday. Thank you so much for being here and joining me for today's video. Today, we're talking all about resistance, what it is, why it matters, and how to release resistance from your ultimate desire, how to accept your circumstances, even though whatever is happening in your physical reality doesn't matter anyways, is the kicker of the whole thing. Before I get started, though, like always, the links for booking one-on-one coaching, the links for booking one-on-one hypnosis with me are in the box below, as well as links to all of my pre-recorded hypnosis audios, my pre-recorded courses, and all the things you can get from the website. They're all linked below. Also, friendly reminder, I have 3 brand new hypnosis audios: Release the Past, Healing Space, and Lucky Charm. They are all designed to get you into a feel-good place and space, get you into a healing brainwave, no matter which one you grab, or all of them. There's a bundle pack, they're individual. And actually, I realize as I'm saying this, they're also great tools to learn how to understand, to drop resistance, because you go into a sleep state during hypnosis and you naturally drop resistance anyways, which is what we're looking for, okay? So thank you. It's all in the box below, okay? And also, I feel called to do this today. Just a reminder or just a refresher. If you are new to my videos, if you're new to the channel, hi, my name is Alexis. I am a trained clinical hypnotherapist, and I am also a neuro-linguistic programming practitioner. I've got a master's in that study, and I have been coaching and helping people design and manifest their ideal relationships and many other things for about 8 years now, okay? So just a little thing about me, in case you don't know me yet. I'd love to get to know you. Say hi in the comments, okay? So you guys, now let's talk about resistance. And I've actually had this topic come up with a bunch of clients this week. It always does, but even this week especially, because I had a couple of clients who are fighting resistance and trying to do their mental diet, their affirmations, think the appropriate thoughts about their situation with their romantic partner or their specific person that didn't drop the resistance. I had a couple of people who just naturally dropped the resistance, and I thought, let's talk about what resistance is. When you say a word so many times it begins to feel or sound weird. That might happen at the end of this video because I'm going to say it over and over again, so we figure it out together, and that you get into your mind, oh, that's what resistance feels like, okay? Now, as a refresher also, and as a reminder, your thoughts create, and your thoughts have created your current circumstances where you are currently experiencing yourself as the epicenter of your reality, okay? So your thoughts have created whatever is going on, but whatever is going on doesn't matter, so you got to stop resisting it. Now, how do you know if you're resisting your circumstances and you're consciously creating a reality? It feels something like this. In your mind, it might sound something like this. Oh my gosh, okay, I'm living in the end. We're in the best relationship. We're back together better than ever. We're so happy. We're having a good time. He loves me or she loves me. They love me so much. They're always calling, etc., etc. Let's say you're doing that throughout the day. But that, let's say that you ran into your SP at the workplace, like at the, I don't think we have this example really in reality as much, but at the water cooler. Or let's say you ran into her in the hallway and she looked like she was super preoccupied. She looked like how she had looked the last time that you guys had been on a couple dates together. She also looked like she was kind of like distracted, detached from you, and didn't really care about you in the moment, and didn't even really notice how sad or how much you were wanting to spend time with her. Okay, let's just pretend that this happened. Okay, now what usually people do is when the SP is shown up this way or something is happening, they're resisting it by not wanting to think about the person in the opposite way or not wanting to accept it. Now, if you can be in complete acceptance of your current circumstances, right? Again, you guys, your circumstances and whatever is going on currently has already been manifested. It doesn't matter. But if your mind is racing and trying to figure everything out and then do some kind of like other practice with your mental diet and your thoughts, you're kind of missing the boat, right? You want to be completely non-resistant, non-affected, non-focused on the things that you don't want. So that means, what's the other way to look at it? You run into her and she's looking a certain way, she's acting a certain way. You decide, oh, interesting. I'm not going to be ignoring her. I'm not going to act like it's not happening because it's already manifested. I'm going to instead decide to be 100% unbothered and unaffected by what's going on. And you know what, actually also in my mind, I'm going to make this not about me. What we always do with people in our reality is make everything about us. And usually when it's with someone that you've had a negative experience with, or you're currently manifesting, then you tend to also, without even knowing it, you guys, you know, you can agree with me. You make a lot of things a negative, like, oh, she's having a bad day. Did I do something wrong? She's not really noticing me. Like, oh, she never really liked me. That is making something about yourself in a negative way. Instead, what you want to do is the after, you know, it's hard to do it in the moment, but afterwards being like, oh, so my mind wants to resist how she's currently acting. It wants to act like this isn't happening. This isn't what's going on. We're back together. We're this, we're that. Okay. If you're doing a mental diet, you guys, you don't have to do all of that. You instead can totally accept the circumstances and be like, oh, so she was distracted. Is she okay? I'm doing great. I am unaffected. I am unbothered by my 3D reality. I am 100% just unaffected and not allowing this to take me off course about me. Now, this also usually feels and sounds weird for us because we have spent our entire lives creating who we are in each moment based upon what's going on. And most people since childhood have decided when people outside of me are doing things that make me feel good, then I feel good, right? Now, your feeling state and how you're being, the thoughts you're thinking, what you're embodying, what you're doing with you guys get to decide, has everything to do with you and your choice of you, right? You really want to hone in on this as a conscious creator, because even in the recreation of a specific person, people still oftentimes have the SP on a pedestal. They don't understand that they're still resisting circumstances, even while they're creating new circumstances in their minds. So you got to kind of do all of this in your conscious creation journey. Now, I can just hear in the comments people saying, but Alexis, you just said our circumstances don't matter. So are we giving too much attention to our circumstances by doing this? And I say, absolutely not. Also, if you are creating for getting back together or being in contact with someone, this is something you want to begin to manage and understand, right? You want to really get a hold of the basic practice of creating your focus and your decision and your focus on you and your better concept of you, no matter what anybody is doing, right? Okay. So, I have notes written down for everyone. Number one is to drop resistance to your current circumstances, right? And you want to stop resisting it. Now, how do you know resistance is coming when you are also like, let's take the example of the person at the workplace that you run into randomly. It's like, I hear this a lot from people who are in that situation. I don't want to run into them. I've been avoiding them. I don't want to get triggered by my 3D reality. So whenever I know that they're home, I go in the bathroom. Okay. Don't do that either. That's resisting the person. It's like saying something so bad is going to happen. I have to not get triggered and maintain my focus. I'm going to remove myself. Okay. No, absolutely not. You want to challenge yourself and not, and drop the idea and the notion that you're going to get triggered by what the person is doing. Absolutely not. That's not the way to go about this. So you want to drop resistance to your current circumstances, accept it, and be like, oh, through acceptance of this, through not pushing against it, getting mad at it, trying to hide, trying to figure out a way around the situation, I am going to ground myself in my safety, stability, security, and my thoughts of me, my focus of me, that I am safe and secure and stable always. And I am the one who is in ownership of me. That's the appropriate mental diet to be thinking about yourself anyways. But really, you guys challenge yourself that if you are resisting what's going on, like if you're in a no contact thing with your specific person, stop resisting no contact. Be like, no, like accepting it. Okay, I created this. We're in no contact, but like it really isn't a big deal because we're getting back into contact and it's all okay. Instead of trying to make this and overthink it and make it so difficult, you want to be like, oh no, like this is what's going on. No big deal. Because I am thinking my thoughts to reformulate this, change this, recreate it. And therefore it's so easy peasy for us to be in contact. Do you see what I'm saying? Okay. So number 2, I've got like written down bullet points to drop resistance to your current circumstances is do you feel like your mental diet has become like, I've heard this a lot, like delusional, or it's such a lie. Now, theoretically speaking, your thoughts are never a lie. They're never delusional, because what you're thinking is the precursor to everything. Remember that you are the cause and you are the creator of all of the situations and all of the circumstances, but you want to tell yourself that nothing is a lie. Now, it's only going to feel like a lie also is if you're resisting what's going on out there. If you're resisting what happened, you're resisting what's going to happen. You're in so much fear and worry about the whole thing. Okay. That's also going to make you feel like you're lying to yourself. You want to make your mental diet be as easy as it can be, you guys, to stay on it. Okay. And if you go through a period where you're learning how to be unbothered and unaffected by your specific person, you want to put the focus primarily on yourself. And for all intents and purposes, I tell all of my one-on-one clients, your focus should inherently be 70% self-focus, self-concept. What's going on with me? What's my focus of me? What am I creating with me? And then what am I creating with him or her? It should never be that you have like a laundry list of affirmations about an SP and that you're waiting around, just like waiting around for them to do something, waiting around for something to happen. And you don't want to feel like you're putting your life on hold. You avoid all of this by understanding that you want 60, 70%, even 80% focus on self. Then there is never the idea that the other person is more important than you, or the other person is this thing. That's everybody putting somebody on a pedestal. You avoid all of that by maintaining your focus on self. So like, it doesn't sound that complicated, does it? If you have your focus on self and you're like not resistant to what's going on, you're learning how to be more relaxed, calm, cool, collected in the flow of life. Like, oh yeah, this is great. I'm just figuring this out. You drop resistance. You see the person at work and you're like, oh yeah, hey, how's it going? Oh my God, I forgot to tell you that like last weekend, I saw someone that looked like you, Do you see how I'm just more in the moment? Now, even the thing I just said, a lot of people are like, oh my God, I could never say it to my SP. I could never just like say something. Like, you'll also know if you're in resistance if you think this. I can't even send them a text message because I want them to like do everything for me, which I get, right? But you've got so much resistance to even just being you and being in the moment and accepting what's going on that you can't navigate through it, right? You don't got to do it. Decide right now, you guys, you're going to drop resistance and drop this. Like I said, I'm going to say resistance so many times during the video, you might get sick of it. Okay. But also, like I've said in other videos, if you are feeling like you're creating your relationship, you're manifesting your SP, you're manifesting this, and you're hitting your head against the corner of a wall, that's being in resistance. And if you tell me like, Alexis cannot do another effing affirmation, you're in resistance. So accept it. Also, don't resist the resistance. How about that? Right? So other things that can help you drop resistance are to do relaxation exercises, deep breathing, one hand to your stomach, one hand to your chest, breathing in deeply, exhaling deeply, coming into the moment, right? Doing things for you, exercising, getting out in the sunshine, going swimming, immersing yourself in water, perhaps even immersing yourself in the mountains if you're someone that likes the mountains. Whatever helps you ground yourself in you and be focused on you inherently. Okay. The thing you don't want to ever do is just do a bunch of affirmations, have a list of thoughts you're supposed to think, and then be hiding yourself under a blanket at home and acting like, oh, it's going to pop out in my 3D reality. Absolutely not. We are here to experience life to its fullest. Remember that you came into this human body purposefully to learn how to deliberately, consciously create your reality. So have some fun with it, add these things in. And naturally, usually when people are engaging in life, doing things for themselves, learning how to put the focus back on them, even if they never had it, right? They drop resistance easily and naturally. Okay. So also, what might help you too is to change your thoughts about all the circumstances anyways, learning how to not make things be a block, a deterrent from you being you or life moving forward. Also, in this vein, if you are thinking thoughts perpetually like, I'm kind of stuck, nothing is really happening, nothing's really moving, I don't see a lot going on for me in my outer 3D reality, I'm just kind of here. You want to start thinking and deciding like, no, Like no news is really good news, you guys. Like if you've had ups and downs, right? Lots of things topsy-turvy and you get to a stable zone, you want to be like, no, because I'm stable, and no news is good news, by the way. All news is good news for all intents and purposes. You want to make and mean and think. So much is happening for me. So much is moving forwards for me. I am seeing so much going on. Like so many exciting things are going on. Okay. Also, you got to still remember to stay on the chosen story as you drop resistance. Now, as I even say all these tools and techniques, and it's not a technique, it's like a thing. This is really like intricate, nuanced stuff, you guys. So if you are having to watch this video a bunch of times, or you've watched a lot of my videos and you feel like you still don't get it, have a lot of patience and acceptance of yourself, because like no one gives us these tools. I figured this out in my journey in life through manifesting various things and through all of the life experiences, and then coming to conscious creation work, coming to hypnotherapy, coming to learning how to coach people, because it was what I was on the journey to do, and then figuring it out from there. It wasn't like I, Alexis, who is the coach and helping you here and in the videos, like woke up and got it all right one day. No, it was through trial and error. And it is still through my life experience, trial and error, succeeding, and then seeing like, okay, so when all the things come together for me, and when all the things are working for me, what am I thinking? How am I being? What am I doing? And oftentimes it will be like, oh, I'm in like a complete non-resistant state about most things. And I'm focusing on myself. I'm having a pretty good time. I'm most of the day feeling pretty good, but not 100%, because who is? And like most things are going pretty great. Okay. So, with all this saying, if you do all of that, then aren't you much more easily equipped to stay on the chosen story? The chosen appropriate thoughts of reality creation that you need. Now, I also want to say too, that like a couple of clients this week, they had some interesting things that they were going through, and they were asking my guidance about like, okay, Alexis, I got to think some new thoughts about this. What do I think? Right. And then I thought, okay, I've got to think of the thoughts to tell them about this, to think differently. And a couple of them, one of them, you know who you are. She said, oh my gosh, that affirmation you just gave me, it was like divinely inspired. Now, if you come into session with me and you're thinking that we are having a divine inspiration that would always help you guys, it doesn't happen with everybody. But I also thought to myself, gosh, if she was sitting at home just thinking about it, it probably wouldn't have been so easy for her to come up with that counter affirmation about that serious circumstance. Okay. So you want to remember that the chosen story might not be the story that you created for yourself if you're trying to hack this on your own, right? I see a lot of times people come up with a bunch of affirmations. Like a lot of people that come to coaching with me are very versed on this information. They've been doing techniques, affirmations, things to get it going. And then they even come into situation with me in session where they try to tell me what they're doing, and they tell me the whole thing, and they say, you know, I've been doing this for so long, and I've been this and I've been that, and then these are my affirmations, and I don't know why it's not working, and this and that and that. Okay. And then I actually have to rework what their chosen story is, because they have a deeper issue going on, and that's never anything that I could do in a public video. It is one-on-one, and that's why I believe in the one-on-one approach. Okay. So just remember that you want to be fact-finding within you. What is this whole scenario really about within me? Like what's going on out there, and how does this boil down to what I deeply think about me and deeply think about this topic? That's why surface level affirmations and something you're going to grab off Google isn't going to work. The only things that I recommend for everyone are finding a way to route in the mind thoughts of that create feelings of and decisions of safety, stability, security, being the creator of your experience and owning what's going on. Okay. So you got to remember that you have to be on the chosen appropriate story is the thing. Okay. And you want to really learn how to understand how your mind thinks, how your mind works, so that you can adhere your chosen story to how you think. Okay. So that's it, you guys. How do we drop resistance? Let's go back to that whole topic. You drop resistance by stop fighting things, creating a scenario about what's going on in your mind. There is no one to hide from. We're not here to play a game in our 3D reality. You're playing a game If you're trying to stay away from the person, not be around the person, so triggered by the person, you want to learn to ground yourself in yourself and be more unbothered and less affected, and be more relaxed, more calm, cool, collected, and allowing yourself to then think the appropriate thoughts. Okay. Now, I will say too, if you are new to doing this, or you have come up, you're coming in contact in your 3D reality with something that's really hard to resist, you want to take baby steps. This is especially important when we are faced with circumstances that seem so daunting. You know, that will really show you what you're made of as a human being. Like, am I going to be focused enough that for most of the day, I'm going to unfocus and not resist what's happening out there and be able to focus on my own safety, security, stability? Because you guys, even if you can take your attention and your thoughts away from what's going on enough and not resist it, to focus on, I am safe, I am secure, I am stable, then look at that. The only thing you're creating is safety, security, stability, right? But it's by not fighting what's happening. You don't have to fight and hide from what's going on out there. It won't help anything. All right. So in a roundabout way, just stop it. As difficult as that might be to hear and to think about, drop it. Roll your shoulders back and be like, oh, so nothing that's happened out there and nothing that's happening out there gets to have any hold on what I'm really choosing is happening. But for me to not give it any hold, I've got to stop fighting it anyways, getting mad at it, resisting it, being so sad about it, being so upset about it. I'm going to ground myself in me and my appropriate thoughts and appropriate story and what I'm feeling, what I'm deciding, and who I'm being. And that's my key to everything. Okay. So remember too, that you are the creator of your experience. You are the only one that can think the new story and drop the resistance and be in a feel good place and decide that you're going to be all throughout the day. Right. This reminds me of a question I answered in my last week's Q&A video about, hey, if we're the creators of our reality and we're born to create, then why is this so difficult? Why do we have to do all of these things? Because remember that this is a birthright that you're also reclaiming, that we have forgotten, and we are still getting to understand how deeply and how intrinsically we are the creators of our reality. And the only one that can recreate it is you. So if the only one who can recreate it is you, then why have resistance and irritation and be so affected by all the things going on outside of you? Now, most likely, if you're not resistant to it, you'll actually be calmly, coolly, collectively putting yourself first, thinking about, oh, so what do I really want to be doing? What do I really want to be thinking about? What's going on with me? And everything will unfold for you, right? You don't need to be afraid of releasing resistance. I think a lot of people are afraid that if they release resistance, then they're not going to want the person anymore, right? And that's absolutely not true. You want to drop and let go of the wanting, the needing, the having to have, essentially having any sense of need and desperation for a person. That is not what creates the connected love and the love scenario. You want to be in the having of the love, the being in the love, we've got it, and not needing or wanting it, having to have it. Okay, so let's get rid of resistance. Let's learn how to do it. Practice it. Ask yourself throughout the day, am I so resistant to what's going on? Oh, I'm just going to drop that. I'm going to stop it. And I'm going to focus on the story of, I'm the creator of this reality. This experience does come from me. So I get to choose and I get to decide what's manifesting for me. And that means I'm safe and stable and secure. And he so wants me, he so loves me, and everything is us getting back together no matter what I see. Now, as I said that, that's a mental diet in itself. Is it for you? You get to decide, you guys. I've tried to stop saying intentions in videos because then people have like these laundry list of intentions. And sometimes that's helpful. Sometimes it's not. But I know people like grabbing intentions from my videos. So there you go. All right. I am wishing everyone a wonderful season wherever you are. We're in the height of summer here. And I'm actually, funnily enough, in the middle of getting ready for a wedding. And I still, though, am very committed to creating my weekly video for you guys and finding information to continually talk about this topic. Okay. But I've got over 200 videos on my playlist in the channel. And You guys enjoy wherever you're at. Enjoy whatever you're doing. Enjoy whatever is going on with you. Enjoy and enjoy and enjoy, and not resist whatever you think is not going on. Have fun in the moment. Be in the being of you and experience it. Get back to the joy of being in the human body and like thinking, oh my God, I came here to create my reality, and I'm going to get determined to get better and better and using all the tools to be a truly, truly glorious conscious creator and have some fun with this. All right. I love you guys so much. I'll see you next week, and have a great start to your Monday. Mwah. Bye.